This week, I'm relying on my AI assistant, as I'm still recovering my voice. The performance we're analyzing today is perhaps the most complete display of football we've seen so far. It was a collective success, with everyone stepping up to deliver a strong, responsible performance. The goal we scored, similar to last week's, was a result of 9 consecutive passes involving 7 players, a true testament to our teamwork. From the outset, there were plenty of positives. We immediately exploited the wide areas on the left, creating several dangerous opportunities. On the opposite side, Cass caused chaos with his diagonal runs across the pitch. Our central midfielders provided the necessary support and maintained the right shape throughout the game. We outmuscled them all over the park, although this did lead to conceding a few too many free kicks. Interestingly, here's an extract from their own video analysis.
Hi gents, have a look and press pause on that note about sums up the game really.
However, let me remind you that pride comes before a fall, and self-praise is no recommendation. While the 1-0 result was perfect in many ways, it's a dangerous mindset to become complacent. There are still areas where we must improve. You're currently the team with the second best defensive record across the entire state League 1-3. This is a testament to our strong defensive mechanisms, which involve all 11 players on the pitch. But remember, you can't have your cake and eat it too. Our defensive success has come with a very cautious approach, often limiting the number of players we commit forward. As the saying goes, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. However, if we want to score more goals, we need to improve our deliveries and ensure we have more players in the box. This is something we'll continue to focus on during training. We discussed the element of luck before the game. Yes, you make your own luck, but look at this when it comes to that. As shown in the highlights, on the 36th minute, Laverton is in possession. They switch the ball to our right-hand side, but we have a very dense defensive third, so we are well covered, while we also have our wingers making their way back, and that is the right approach. There is a first cross coming and Cody clears it towards the outside. Cody is here very deep, providing help. There's another ball coming and a second clearance by Adrian, which indicates we are under siege. There's a third header by Jake, but after that we seem very content to just sit and watch. Joel reacts and puts pressure on their ball carrier, and while we are so deep, their 10 is still able to receive the ball in between the lines. He attempts to play that in behind, into space, which requires a fourth clearance by Hamish with the outside of his foot, back into traffic. Wouldn't have been a better option to clear it towards the outside to stop their play. This further required another aerial contest, but this time we have 2 players going for the same ball, Adrian and Jimmy, which worries me. This shows our communication is far from perfect. This leaves Jake as the only player reacting in what is a 3v1 situation. We discussed how our mid-block requires a 4-4-2 shape. Sir Ivan, in these instances you should drop here to support Jake as per what we worked on just last week. We need your presence further down since we are so deep. When and if you receive the ball, you can then bounce and run into space. Generally, we are still happy to sit, which invites another long ball in our box with a 6th clearance required in less than a minute. But finally Laverton finds 2 players free just outside the box. Lucky they don't take advantage of it. If we go back, Watch again how that developed itself. Cody is attracted forward up, when instead, if our defensive line does not want to step, it should have been Jimmy to drop with Cody covering space in front of our two central defenders. Cody you could have called for Jimmy to drop. Dennis is instructed to drop on long balls and rightly so does that, but this leaves again as in previous games space just outside the penalty box, which is something I told you is one of our bad habits, showing that at times it's not a perfect defensive structure that holds us but rather the inability by the opposition to punish us. This time we were lucky because this was an extremely bad piece of defending. Briefly also, our pressing strategies are disorganized. For what concerns our mid-block, as already briefly discussed, we need to go into a 4-4-2 formation. The number 9 cannot just stay up and expect the 10 to do all the work, as you can see here. In regards to the high press again, we need to ensure we stick to the plan. As an example, in the 17th minute we seem to initiate one, but it's not correct. Ivan, you should be more central and see that the goalkeeper is about to play the ball to his left. When that happens, immediately make that curl run to put pressure on the central defender. The rest is almost correct. Jake has his player under control, Jimmy the same, but he could be closer. Cass is on their left fullback, while Cody has dropped to pick up their 9 since their 10 has pushed up, creating a 4v4 situation which is not ideal, but they are stretched, showing they are just waiting for a long ball. The problem here is that with Jake going into this solo press, he leaves a player in behind and all it takes is a central pass and both our 9 and 10 are gone. This time it works out anyway as they just kick it long and we win the ball back, but against a smarter team we wouldn't get away with it. Just be aware.